This is my long-term review of the Galaxy S24 after using it for 4 months. Currently I'm recording this video in the car. I am using the split screen mode. I have the camera on one side using the selfie camera and then Google Keep on the right side to take notes. One of the downside of doing this is I never noticed that when you do the split screen mode, the camera app itself is limited. Originally I wanted to record this video in portrait mode. I think it looks a little bit cooler, but unfortunately you're only limited to 2 camera options. You can take photo and videos. You don't get any of the extra dual screen mode or anything like that if you have it in split screen. Not really sure why. I mean, I'm pretty sure most people are not going to use this that often. I'm just doing it because I'm vlogging, I'm doing reviews, but it's kind of a convenient feature. Usually on small phones like this, I don't really do a lot of split screening, especially since it's already small. You're not really gonna try to play games and web surf at the same time. But for this particular case, it's kind of convenient for me just to sit and record a video, and then I have my notes on the right hand side that I can glance to. Like I mentioned earlier, currently recording this video in the car. My baby's sleeping in the back, wife is food shopping. Don't really have a lot of time these days to record, but when I can, just try to do it as I go. You're not gonna hear the best video quality because I'm sitting in a car. Cars are driving by. It might be a little loud. So the sound quality that you hear, it is truly from the phone itself. Maybe I should invest into some lav mic or something, and maybe I'll bring it around if I were to record videos like these. At least you might get better sound quality. But at least for now, you do get to see the true sense of the sound and video quality directly from the camera itself. And I used many other phones along the way. I know I had this phone for 4 months, but during that time period, I tested the Galaxy S24 Ultra. I tested OnePlus 12, the OnePlus 12R, but I have always had the Galaxy S24 on the side. I have 2 SIM cards, so whatever phone I'm using, I would use that phone as my main driver. But now I'm going back to the S24 again. So for me, there are 6 important things that makes a good smartphone. So first, it's a good screen. The S24 only have a 1080p display. It is not 4K, but I think it's fine. For a smaller phone, you don't really need 4K or anything like that. Even in the larger screen like the Galaxy S24 Ultra, I think Quad HD is overrated. I know people out there who like to pixel peeps and really stare at every little dot. They might notice it, but on a day-to-day basis, I don't really care if it's 1080p. I don't care if it's Quad HD. And even 60 Hz refresh rate or 120 Hz refresh rate, it doesn't make that much of a difference for me. But on the surface, this phone is fine. 1080p, it is really bright. It has roughly 2600 nits peak brightness. If you're using this phone outside, walking around, sun is beaming, you're not going to have any issues seeing in the sun or anything like that. Even in the prior generation when it was 1750 nits or even below that, I think anything above 1500 nits peak brightness is fine. Galaxy phones have always had really good peak brightness, and for whatever reason in 2023 every single flagship phone started having like 2000 nits peak brightness and above. Maybe there was a breakthrough in technology or something like that, but before that a lot of the phones were hovering well below 2000. But anyways, this phone has an excellent display. It's bright, you can see it outside during the day, and at nighttime if it's dark, you're going to bed, it's able to go down super dim as well. So you want the best of both worlds. It's nice to have a bright screen, but you don't want it bright all day long, especially if you're going to bed or you get a text in the middle of the night. You don't want the super bright screen to be blinding you late at night if you need to check the text or anything like that. Second thing that makes up a good phone, it is a good battery. This phone will last you through a full day. Even though it's a smaller compact phone, it would typically last like a day or so with light to moderate usage. If you are a heavy user, you're definitely going to need to charge it a few times. You do a lot of gaming, video recording, use it extensively throughout the day, then you're going to need to top it off. But on a normal day, if you're just sitting at your desk or you're working from home, standby time is pretty good on this phone as well. Typically I get about 12 to 15 hours of battery life. I don't do a lot of heavy screen on time. Like I don't play a lot of games. I don't watch YouTube for 10 hours straight, so I'm never gonna get long screen on times. So I'm usually just focused on the overall battery life, and this phone typically lasts me 12 to 15 hours. Standby time is important for me as well. This one had pretty decent standby time. If I don't use it at all, it'll last me a while. But I know in the past, a lot of phones, they don't really have good standby time. Even if you don't use it, the battery still drain like crazy. But with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 and even last year 8 Gen 2, it's gotten much more efficient just in terms of standby time. And I previously just came from the OnePlus 12R. That phone will last me a legit 36 hours. That was the first Android phone that I had that really had good battery life. I was pretty shocked to see. Before that, the only other phones that have performed that well is the iPhone 15 Pro Max and the 14 Pro Max as well. I was pretty impressed with the day and a half battery life with just light to moderate usage, and you don't even need to think about charging your phone at all. So in those cases, if those phones are so good with battery life, you don't need the fast charging, to be honest, if you just charge your phone overnight. So with the Galaxy S24, if you use it throughout the day, you take a lot of pictures, you're on a road trip, you are using your camera intensively, you do a lot of games, you may need to top it off here and there. But if I'm driving around, I'll plug it in, have Android Auto running is okay. And once you get to your destination, just take it off. But I think that's fine for normal. You just, when I had the Google Pixel 7a or even the 7 and Pixel 8, the battery life is okay, but you do have to constantly charge it. Even with sporadic wireless charging or topping it here and there, I would still need to legit at least sit connected to a wall, have it connected to a charger, or even just carry around a portable battery pack. But with the S24, I don't need to carry around a portable battery pack. So battery's decent with this phone for what it is, and it will last you to a day just with light topping off here and there. Galaxy S24 camera, this is one of the best features that Samsung has. Samsung, Google, Apple, they have always had great cameras. Currently I'm recording this video using a selfie camera. I think the quality is fine, it's bright. What you see is what you get here, and I've always liked Galaxy cameras. With the base model, you're not going to get those high zoom like 5x, 100x or anything like that, but most people don't need that on a daily basis, so I think it's okay. If you're using the main camera, point and shoot, it more than does the job, and I think this phone has been fine for me there. Fourth category that makes up a good smartphone is the processor. This is the latest chip that Android has to offer, Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. I don't do a lot of gaming or anything like that, but it's a fast phone. You can swipe around just fine. There's no lag, no stutter or anything like that. Over the last few years, I haven't experienced any lag or stutter. Smartphones have gotten so good. Even my Galaxy S20 is still moving around like a breeze, so no issues there. If you're just doing light gaming, social media, scrolling around, web surfing, this phone is more than enough unless you're doing PUBG game or whatever those are called. I mean, it'll still handle it. It has the latest chip and it'll be fine. Your battery might take a hit if you do a lot of gaming and screen intensive stuff. But if you're just using it normally, not doing anything crazy, it is fast and efficient, so no issue there. Fifth category that I just recently added is ease of use, which is important to me because being a new dad, I have to hold my baby all the time, so I want a phone that's easy to take in and out of my pocket. I want something that's light and compact. I do not like holding the Ultra phone because it's so big, bulky, and heavy, and every time I take it out, I feel like I'm gonna drop it. I know people say I have two hands, but sometimes I'm carrying baby with one hand, I only have one hand left to use. So I want something that's light and easy to use. So the S24, it is 6.2 inch, and I just like the size so much. I know the compact phones are dying, and even 6.2 is not really that compact, to be honest. Certain situation I have to struggle to reach the corners or at the top. So it is a small phone, but it's not that small. The Galaxy Note 10 or whatever back in the days, it was around the 6.2, 6.3 inch range. So Galaxy Note have always been known for their big phones, and these days it is considered a standard compact phone. But yeah, just the phone size, I love the smaller phone. I use the Galaxy S24 Ultra. I just don't like having a big phone. It is so heavy and it feels like a brick when you're holding it. And if you want an even bigger brick, get the Galaxy Z Fold 5. I use that as well, and it's just so cumbersome to hold. It's very hard to navigate with one hand, and even recording videos like this right now, I've been holding this phone in my hand for 10 minutes. It's just resting on top of my steering wheel. But yeah, I'm just holding it, two finger on top, pinky at the bottom, and it still feels fine. But when I do that with the Fold or the Ultra, it just feels much more sharper and heavier. It's not comfortable to hold, and those phones I would get tired just holding the phone in about 1 or 2 minutes, versus here I'm already going to the 11-minute mark. My hand is starting to get a little tired, but it's still feasible. But yeah, ease of use. You want a phone that is small. Oh my goodness, let me switch hand a little bit. I'm getting tired now that I'm talking about it. Okay, now we're moving over to the left hand, and even holding my left hand, I just got 2 fingers on it right now. Really easy to hold, it's very light, and Galaxy S24 is just like the perfect size, the perfect weight for me. And even flipping phones, I know they advertise those as like compact, smaller, fit in your purse everywhere you go, but it's very annoying to use on a day-to-day basis. Take it in and out of your pocket, you gotta literally open up the phone, whether you flick it or you have to dig in your finger and push it out, or you just leave your phone as is. My wife has a Galaxy Z Flip 5. She doesn't even fold her phone. She just uses it as a regular phone, and then that defeats the purpose of a folding phone because you're not really folding it. And even the flip phone, it is a pretty large phone. You open it up, it's like 6.7 inches or something, so it's not really that compact. You have to reach all the way to the top. You got to deal with the crease. I think it's ugly. And yeah, I like the idea of flip phones, but when you use it, it's really not that practical. And I think the base model is the most practical phone for me. It is light, it is compact, easy to take in and out of pocket. You don't have to open it up. You don't have to worry about jabbing your hand because the corners around it, so it's much easier to hold. With the S24 Ultra, it's much sharper. Every time I hold it with one hand, I can feel it stabbing me. So, point being, I like small phones. And I like small phones under $1,000. Price should probably be one of the top things, but the number 6 category that is important to me in a smartphone is a good price. I personally don't like to spend more than $1,000 for a phone. Of course, on this channel, I will buy them, test them out just for review purposes, but if I were an average consumer, which I am, that's why I like to have 2 SIM cards. Like one SIM card, it is me just using my main phone, the Galaxy S24 Ultra. If I were to go to the store and buy it, I would look for a phone that's under $1,000, that is fast, powerful, has a good camera. This phone check out all the lists. But on the other hand, I still do other phones as testing as a YouTube channel, so that one you have to spend the big bucks just to kind of do the testing there. But for me, as a daily driver, I prefer spending $700-800. I think that is a good price to get a strong flagship phones. The 12R is an awesome phone at $500 for the power and battery, but it lacks a really good camera compared to the S24. But luckily they do have the OnePlus 12 without the R. So if you want a better camera, get that, but you do gotta spend $800. The 8A from Google is a great price as well, $500. You get a great camera, battery life, and fast charging, power, performance is gonna be debatable. I will be testing that phone next, but I already have an idea what it's gonna be like. I used the 7A last year. I used the Google Pixel 8 as well. And essentially the 8A is just gonna be the less powerful version of the 8. So pretty much what I know I'm going to expect. With Google Pixel phones, you're going to get a great camera, great video recording. That's what I'm expecting. Battery life is going to suck. It has slow charging speed, but with S24, you do have to spend a little bit more at $800, so $300 compared to the other 2 options I just mentioned. But it has a nice blend of both. It has the latest chip and it has a really good camera. The OnePlus 12R, it actually have a 1-year-old chip, but it doesn't really feel that much difference on a day-to-day basis. But you are a tech nerd, you want the latest and greatest, the S24 offers that, and it has a good camera. So best of both worlds there if you're willing to spend a little bit more. Alright guys, so this wraps up my 4-month review with the Galaxy S24. Overall, it is a great phone, has a good screen, has a decent battery for the size, it has a really good camera. I mean, I feel like any camera from Samsung over the last 4 or 5 years or whatever, how long you want to take it back, it hasn't really changed that much year to year. So you're gonna get what you're gonna get. It's not really any major improvement from year to year. You get a really fast processor as well, but you can buy any phone over the last 4 years and get a fast phone. Ease of use, I like the smaller phone. And price, you get it under $1,000. You may have noticed I left out all the AI stuff. I think they're cool to play around with. Some people may find the feature to be useful. Me specifically, I don't really use them. There's nothing that really screams absolutely must have. Everyone wanna toss AI next to their name these days, but I don't think it's really that practical. I play around with a bunch of features, but they're just okay. I use the OnePlus 12R. They don't advertise AI at all, and I don't miss anything about it. Alright guys, so this wraps up my 4-month review of the Galaxy S24. If you're looking for a light phone that's under $1,000, that is fast, efficient, it'll last you 7 years. If you plan to keep your phone for that long, I think this is the phone to get if you are a small phone user like myself. Let me know if you have any questions, thoughts, or concerns, anything else you want me to cover. Have you gotten the Galaxy S24 or you are a Ultra person? Any thoughts you have, just leave them in the comments below. I appreciate the time as always. Remember to like and subscribe. Please check out my last video where I do the one final review of the OnePlus 12R. If you haven't already, just check that out. I appreciate the time as always, and see you guys in the next video.